Okay, welcome back everyone to CodeVis channel, where we teach you about web development skills and other tech related skills. We are currently in CSS and we're learning CSS text, colors, fonts and text. Okay, so in the last video I showed you a little bit of colors and fonts, but I didn't really dive that deep because I want you guys to get the hang of it earlier on. But now we're going to dive deeper into the topic. So without further ado, let's get in there. But before we start, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so that you'll be updated whenever we post a new video. So in the last video, I stopped at the CSS font family and font size. Those are the two properties I touched, and I showed you that you can also use math equations to solve your font, to give your fonts a particular size, and that's how we arrived at this little text right here. So let's continue on. So as you know, there are still other properties under the fonts that we can there's still other properties under fonts we can manipulate. So after we're done with the font family, font size, we can also touch something like font weight. Now the font weight property affects how thick our text is going to be. Okay, so if I say something like let the font weight be bolder, and I come back to my browser here, you see that the text has actually become bolder right here. Okay, it's pretty clear. There are still other font related things we can do. We can say font style, font display, font variant, font stretch, as well as other things that are there. So let's see this font style. Now what this font style does is simply to make our text appear either italics or basically normal, depending on how many styles your text has. So if I say italic here and I come back to the browser, you see that the font has gone italics format. So that's just the thing there. So you can play around more with this. So let's move on to CSS text. But before I move on to CSS text, I can also show you something. Now, this font family I'm making use of here is the font family that currently exists in my system. Okay, and as you can see, I used several font names here. Now, there's a reason for this. Normally, there are thousands of fonts that exist out there in the world. There are thousands of fonts. Okay, we don't have a single font. Naturally, when you install your Windows into your system, it comes with a preset font. There are some fonts that comes with it. But then again, those are not the only fonts that exist. Okay, there are thousands of fonts that exist out there on the internet, and people make use of all of them daily. So the reason why you put several font names here in your CSS is simple. What you do is this: since I have these fonts on my system, namely Lato, Prompt or Montserrat, these fonts all exist in my system. Okay, but they might not exist in another person's system. What does that mean? I, as the developer, have the font on my system, but the user that is going to be accessing my site in the future might not have these set fonts on their own system. Okay, so the reason why I'm putting multiple fonts here is so that in case the user doesn't have this particular font called Lato, it will switch to this font called Prompt. Do you understand it now? If the user doesn't have this particular font called Lato, it will switch to this font called Prompt. That means when the user is loading the website I built on his own system, if his system doesn't have this font called Lato, it will switch to the font called Prompt. If the system doesn't have this font called Prompt, it will switch to the font called Montserrat. If it doesn't have any of these three fonts you're seeing here, is to switch to any other sans serif font. And I told you last time that sans serif is a classification of fonts, and I told you can read up on it online so you can learn more about it. Okay, now this one in particular is for when the user doesn't have the font that is our system. Remember, I said these fonts all exist in my system. That means they exist offline in my system. Okay, they exist offline inside my system, so there is a high chance that the user that is going to access the site in the future might not have it. Okay, however, if you want to use a particular font and you want to make sure that the font appears the same way in the user system, what you have to do is that you have to use an online font. So let me show you how to use it right now. So let's go back to index.html. I'm going to add a simple b tag. I'm going to add another p tag. I'm going to say p dot, let's give it a class of text. Then this text I'm going to say lorem 20. So what I'm going to do now is, inside this my head tag, I'm going to give you guys a simple solution for this. Inside this my head tag, I'm going to link an external font file, an online external font file, to my HTML document so that I can make use of the fonts that exist inside that site. So for us to do this, let's head down to fonts.google.com. fonts.google.com. Now this is a font site, as you already know, this is a font site owned by Google, and they give you thousands of free fonts you can make use of in your web development or in your graphic design or whatever you want to use it for. Okay, it's a very sweet site and it's very easy to use, actually very easy to use. Okay, let me close this filter. If you want to open that menu, this is the filter menu. All you have to do is this: if you come to the fonts.google.com, look for any font in particular that you like. That is all. Just look for any font in particular that you like. You can also sort the font either by trending. You can come here to sort the font either by trending, newest, most popular, or by name. Okay, so let's look for a particular font. I'm going to look for a random font that is here, and they almost all look the same. Okay, let's take this font, Josephine Sans. No, let's not take that one. I have that one in my system. I want to use some. Aha, let's use this font here, Ephesus. Okay, let's use this font that is right here. Now, when you want to link a font to Google, first of all, when you want to link a font from Google from these font sites of Google to your HTML document or to your web page, first thing is you have to select the font. When you select the font, it opens the font family content here, so you can copy it out whenever you need. Now, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to press this plus sign to add this font. What does that mean? Do you see this little bag here, this little icon that is here? If you click on it, oh sorry, let me remove this other font. I put it there. Hold on, remove all. Okay, if I click on this plus sign here, it will add the font family to my collection here. So this thing is like a collection. It's showing you your collection of fonts here. The reason for this is because you can add more than one font. Alright, you can add more than one font. But once I add this font that is here, if I scroll down here, it shows me use on the web. To embed the font, copy the code into your head of your HTML. You can see it right here, right? So all I have to do is copy this font here. Just copy this code that is here. I don't even need to memorize it. Just copy it. Come back to your HTML document. Here inside your head tag, maybe after your CSS linking or before your CSS linking, just paste the font there. Now, if you want to make use of the font, all you have to do is call out the family name. Okay, so now that I've pasted the link, you can see that I have pasted that particular font family link inside my website here, and the name of the font family is what? Ephesus, right here. So that means if I should target this p tag that has a class of text, all I have to do is come here and say dot text. Then I'll say font family should be Ephesus. That should be the font family, right? Yes. Then I say font size, let's give it 32 pixels. And if I come back to my browser and go to my site, what do you see? The Ephesus font has taken effect. Let me explain the process again. This is for when you want to make use of a font that exists online but is not on your system. The reason for this is so that you will make sure that that font loads on another person's system whenever they access your site. Okay? Now, the first thing you have to do, this one is just one of the ways you can do it. There are plenty other there are other ways you can do this as well. You can use fonts, awesome fonts, you can use bootstrap fonts, but for now I'm just using Google fonts because it's pretty simple and it's pretty easy to use. Okay, the first thing you have to do is go online to font.google.com, look for a particular font you like, then click on it. When it opens the font family that is here, all you have to do is click on this icon to open your collection of fonts that on the right menu right here, on the right panel right here. Then scroll down and add the fonts here. Where you see this plus sign next to the font sample here, just add it. That is all. Click on this plus sign to add the font collection here, and you will see the CSS code you see the HTML code for linking this particular font to your HTML document. Okay, you see the code for linking this particular font to your HTML document. And if you even scroll down, you also see the way to add the font. You see the CSS rule for adding the font here. Oh, sorry, I even missed the word. It's supposed to be Ephesus/cursive. So if I come back here, I'm supposed to put in my CSS, I'm supposed to put this comma cursive here. Cursive is another classification of fonts that exist. Okay, it's another classification of fonts that exists. That's all. Which means that when this font is not available, what does it mean? Replace it with any other cursive font out there. That is all. Alright. Now let us say you want to make use of more than one font family in your design, because normally when you're building a website, you make use of more than one font. You can make use of 3 fonts or even 4, depending on the design you're going for. Okay, you can make use of more than one font. So if you want to do that, what you need to do is you need to come and add more fonts here. So I'm going to go back to font. I'm going to look for another font entirely. Let's look for something else entirely. Let me sort by newest. Let's see the crazy fonts that exist out there. Okay, I'm going to take this font called Gbalumo. Or be Agbalumo. I don't know how to pronounce it. You guys pronounce it anyhow you can pronounce it. So I'm going to click on this font. Then I'm going to come down here and add this font as well. So you can see I have the two fonts here, both the Agbalumo and the Ephesus. I have the two of them here right now. Okay, so let's go back and add another font. Now if you notice, immediately I added this font, check out this link that is down here. What do you notice about this link? The link has changed, right? The font family you can see there is the what? The Agbalumo font family. You can see Agbalumo and family, then Ephesus and what? Display. So the link has actually changed. Watch, if I should remove the link, if I should remove this Agbalumo from here and I come back to the link, what do you see here? The only font family that is there is Ephesus. So that is to show you that you've added the font, this particular font family to the link here. Let's go and take another font entirely. Let's sort by newest. Let's scroll down. Which font is this? Wood. Okay, I can't use that kind of font. Let's see if there's any other font I can use here. Let's go. Okay, let's take this other font called Borel. Let's use this font called Borel. So I'm going to add this font as well. So I've taken 3 fonts from the Google font site. Then all I have to do, as you already know, is copy this CSS link right here. Now remember the font family name, which is what? Borel, Agbalumo, and Ephesus, right? So let's come down here. I'm going to come and create 2 p tags. I'm going to say p.texts lorem20. Then I'm going to come down here and create another one. I'm going to say p.texts. I'm being lazy here, so don't mind me. lorem20. I'm also going to come down and create another one, p.tests. I'm just being lazy again, don't mind me. Now let us style up these 3 fonts, these 3 classes that are here. So I'm going to come down here and say, oh, before I forget, always remember you have to come up here and link it up. So I'm going to highlight over these ones that are here. I'm going to paste this. So you can see in this link, the 3 font families I copied, Agbalumo, Borel, and Ephesus, all exist inside this link here. So I'm going to come to my CSS file. I'm going to say .texts. Right? That's what I use, correct? Texts. Yeah. I'm going to say font family. I'm going to say Borel. I'm going to end it there. Font size 32 pixels. I'm going to come and target .text z font family Agbalumo, font size 32 pixels as well. And if you come back to the browser and check our sites, you can see that we have the 2 different sites, the 2 different fonts right here. You can see the Borel font and the Agbalumo font here. So you can see it's actually not that hard to link an online font to your code, to your own web page. Okay, all you have to do is go to the site, get the link for the font, paste it in your head tag right here. That is for the font.google.com. Paste it in your head tag right here. Then come and call out the font family in your CSS. It's easy and it's straightforward. Nothing too hard at all to do. Alright? Nothing too hard at all to do. So with that done, let's close this and close this right here. Oh, I didn't style up the last font. Which other font did I copy? Ephesus. Let's see. I copied Ephesus, Agbalumo, and Borel. Okay. Let's just remove this last one called test. We don't need it. Alright, good. So with that done, let's now talk about the CSS text itself. Now the font has to do with how the font appears, but the text has to do with how you decorate your text. So I'm going to put it and say p tag.css-text. Yeah, so I'm going to say lorem20 as well. Now I'm going to come down here and say .css text. And what we're about to do here is we are about to talk about the CSS text in general. So the CSS text is also used for decorating your text. The CSS font is used for changing the appearance of your fonts, while the CSS text is used for decorating the text. Okay, so let's do that now. I'm going to start with text decoration. Then I'm going to say, now in this text decoration, we have different kind of decorations that exist in our text. You can see the list of them right here, right? These are the list of them right here. I can come and say text decoration. I can say underline, and if I come back to my browser, you can see my text clearly has an underline on it. Why is it so bold? Oh, this P tag right here. Oh, so let me give it a font family. Hold on, font family, 72 pixels. Thank you very much. Hey, I said font family. Sorry, font size. Silly me. Font size 32 pixels, and it has reduced here. So as you can clearly see, this our text here is clearly underlined, and the reason why it's underlined is because we targeted the text and gave it a decoration of underline. If now we can actually declare two values right here in this text decoration. And what does that mean? Let us say I want to make my text underline to be double lines under the text. All I have to do is come here and say what? Underline and double. And if I come back to my browser, I have two lines underlining my text. You can see clearly right here. So you can try that on your own to make sure it's working. At the same time, you can also give another kind of decoration. I can say text decoration overline double, and the same thing will apply. The line will appear on top of the text, not under the text anymore, as you can clearly see. I can also come and say text decoration line dash through double, and you can see that there's two line strokes over in the middle of the text right here. Now this one is only for this one property called text decoration, right? At the same time, if you don't want your text to have any decoration whatsoever, all you have to do is come and say text decoration none, and it will remove any form of decoration on your text. The reason why I'm telling you about this is because of the A tag. If you remember correctly, whenever you insert an A tag, when you did HTML, if you remember correctly, when you insert an A tag in HTML, the text inside the A tag will always have an underline on it. So if you want to remove that underline there, all you have to do is come and target the A tag and say what? Text decoration none, and the underline is gone. Alright, so let's do something else. Let's try underline, and let me put how did that work? And what do you see? The underline of the text has a different color. That's because in the text decoration, you can color the text decoration you want and give it a particular color of your choice. In this case, I gave it underline and CC 5500. And what did that give us? It gave us an underline with what? With its own unique color that is very, very what? That is very different from the text. Let's make it underline double. I come back here, and what can you see? The double underline has what? Its own color that is here. So you can try this out on your own. Another property you can give to your text is text transform. Now the work of this text transform is to change your text from either small letter to a capital letter or something like that. Now as you can see, our text here is currently in a sentence case format, which means only the first letter that begins the text is in capital letter. If I want my entire text to appear in capital letter, what I have to do is come to text transform and give it what? Uppercase. And with this, if I come back to my browser, my whole text will become what? Capital letter. You can see clearly, right? The whole text has become capital letter. So what is this? What does this thing mean? It means it doesn't matter how you type your text here in HTML. You can still come to CSS here and manipulate how your text appears. You can make a small letter text appear as capital letters. You can make a capital letter text or an uppercase text to appear as small letters or lowercase text. Alright? So that's the work of text transform. If you want to see the other properties under it, all you have to do is in your VS Code, if you just type here, you see capitalize, lowercase, uppercase. So you can try them out on your own to make sure it's working. Another text property you can declare is text decoration overflow shadow. Text shadow is actually an effect you can give to it. I can say text shadow. Now the work of text shadow, as you already know, is to give a shadow like effect to your text. So for me to give this, I've got to do something first. I'll change the color of my text to white. I'll say color hashtag triple F to make the color white. So you can't see the text right now, right? But once I apply shadow, you should be able to see the text. So if I say text shadow, all I have to do is declare the horizontal alignment of the text. The horizontal alignment of the text shadow, I'll say okay, horizontally align the shadow 1 pixels horizontally, 1 pixels vertically. How wide should the shadow spread? 8 pixels. Then the color of the shadow should be #000 for black. And if I come back to my browser here, you can see our text now. The text has a shadow effect, although it's kind of thick, but the point of the matter is to show you that is to show you the effect itself. So my white color text has a dark shadow surrounding it, and because of that we can see the text clearly. So this text shadow is more like a decoration you can easily do for your text. It's actually not that hard at all. Remember, all you have to do is declare these 3 values in it: the horizontal alignment of your text shadow, the vertical alignment of your text shadow, and the spread of the shadow, followed by the color. That is all. Horizontal alignment, vertical alignment, or X alignment, Y alignment, the spread of the shadow, then the color. Let me make this thing 4 pixels right here and come back to our text, and you can see the shadow has reduced, and now this is actually much better than the first one we did. Okay, so that is all on CSS color, CSS fonts, and CSS text. Right now there are still other properties under the CSS text you can touch. You can see there's still text overflow, text shadow, text rendering, text indent. There are a lot of them. What I advise you is to go around and play around with them. You can also go to other sites to check them out and see what other properties are there. A site I recommend is W3 Schools. You can go there to read up on other CSS properties that are there, so that it can help you out, because there are plenty of properties you can use to style up your content. So with this, we are done with this video for today. We've covered these 3 little topics. I've also showed you how to how to use fonts that exist online in other sites. Alright, so I want you guys to play around with this, make use of it, and get used to it. So that because in the next video, what we're going to touch is CSS background. That's what you're going to touch in the next video. CSS backgrounds. I'm going to show you how to insert background color, background images, and all that. Alright, so play around with this for now. We are done with the video here for today. Now don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so that you can be updated whenever we post a new video. This is Code Vase, and thank you for tuning in with us.